Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, I've got a bottle on the channel that I talked about over and over. This is the Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Now, every time I give that thing a bad mention on the channel, people say, oh, you got to get a pick. You got to get a pick. Well, guess what? S&W does have a pick. However, this is not S&W's pick. I was going to go there, but I needed to go pick up some corn, so I stopped by the local Nicks of Clinton, and they had a pick sitting there. So I said, why not? I went ahead and picked one up. It was $69.99, so basically $70. And let's just say it may have changed my mind. I don't know. So I'm going to pour a little bit up here. I'll give you my tasting notes and my nosing notes. Now, I was also barbecuing at the time. That's the reason why I went to Nicks of Clinton, because I wanted to get some corn. And I didn't throw it on the grill. I just boiled it, but I was smoking some ribs. And as I was smoking those ribs, I said, well, I think I need to go ahead and light up a stick. So I lit up this right here. The YouTube, they don't like me talking about things like this on the channel. So we're just going to call this a stick. So I lit up this stick right here. This is the La Gloria Cubana Series R Esteli Maduro. And let's just say, I was surprised at how well this thing held up. Let's get into the nose of the pick Woodford Double Oak. Oaky sweetness, man. It's like this oaky sweetness. But I will say this. You guys know I give the Woodford Double Oak, just the regular shelfer, a bad rap for having a stinky cheese smell. And I'm not going to lie. When I first cracked this bottle open, it was there. It was there. Putting them side by side, this one even comes off sweeter, but it was there. Now, once I get to tasting it, it may change a little bit. So let's go back into the nose. Right now it's just deep vanilla and brown sugar. All right. That dreaded little teeny bit of a cheese note is starting to come through. All right, let's go into the shelfer because you guys know how I feel about this one. All right. Honestly, I'm not picking it up in this glass. It's just a sweetness. I don't know if being open and being this low in the glass for this many years. I want to say I had this bottle for at least 3 years. It's only down even lower now because I was watching, the Bourbon School. Shout out to you, Brian. He and his wife, Maria, and she was like, if you mix Woodford Double Oak, I think she said with Benchmark Foolproof. It was either Benchmark Foolproof or Stag. I can't remember them now, but she said it tastes a lot better. I believe it was the Benchmark Foolproof, but it did make it taste better. All right, get back into the nose. All right, the second nosing is more, I would say, like a little bit of a Sharpie marker, slight vanilla, and some of that, like that cheese note, like this funky cheese note, man. I don't know what it is about Woodford Double Oaks, but it's starting to creep through on that one as well. Now, let's get into the palate of this thing. Even going back into the nose, I got this really deep, rich vanilla. When I put it on the palate now, that toasted marshmallow, a slight bit of banana, and like toasted marshmallow. And on the front of the palate, believe it or not, I know I talk about this cheese note. There was almost like this New York cheesecake taste on the front of the palate, followed up by a little bit of char on the finish and like graham cracker. This might be like New York cheesecake with banana in a glass. That toasted marshmallow note, I am just loving that. Let's get into the palate of the shelfer. See, it just a slight touch of Sharpie marker note, bland. It's just like blandness. It's super bland on the palate. And I don't know if it's coming over from this glass, but that touch of like toasted marshmallow I do pick it up a little bit of this. Now let's go back to the pick. All right, there's the cheese note. there's the cheese note. Look, everyone said get a pick, get a pick, get a pick. And I have been talking bad about this bottle for a while. Maybe I was wrong, I don't know. But that cheese note just turns me off, man. It is something about, it's something weird in it. Now I will say this, even though that cheese note turns me off, the flavors more than make up for it. Let's get back into the palate. Yeah, there's this, like when you're putting the glass to your mouth, you're inhaling at the same time, you get that toasted marshmallow and that heavy vanilla. When you get it on the palate, it's almost like this New York cheesecake, and then you start getting into that heavy vanilla again. You start getting into that like toasted marshmallow note. It starts finishing with a little bit of that graham cracker note. I'm not going to say I was wrong, and I am a guy who can admit when he's wrong, but we know that these are batch products. Picks are something special. People go down or they get samples sent to them, and then they pick those barrels, where these pretty much maintain the same flavor profile, you know, throughout the United States. Whatever store you go to, they're supposed to taste the same. So I am not going to say I'm wrong. When it comes to the Shelfer Woodford Double Oak, I'm just not a big fan. It's the blandness for me that just kills it. One more time. Yeah, it's just not exciting. I'm actually starting to pick up a little bit of a berry note, which I've never picked up, or at least I don't think I've picked up in Woodford before. But anyway, I also want to give my wife a shout out. So shout out to Mrs. Bourbon Drop, because I don't know if you can see the sign behind me. That is something new. That was a Father's Day present. She thought it would look nice on the bar. I think it looks great on the bar. I was going to try and keep it at red. The red just doesn't come across on camera as much as I like it to. I like, and she was a big fan of it too. She was the one who recommended the rotating colors. And I think it does catch your eye a little on the channel. So shout out to you, babe. Love you. I really do appreciate that as one of my gifts for Father's Day. Now let's get back into the Woodford Reserve Double Oak pick. So I'm not going to go back over any nosing notes or flavor notes. I'm just going to say I wasn't wrong about the standard Woodford, but I did need to get it picked. So, you know, when it comes to things like the Still Austin, maybe I'll find a pick of that too and just put that up against what I have, because what I have in that Still Austin cast strength is just not it. And if you are a fan of sticks, we're going to leave the C word off the channel so it can hopefully stay monetized. I suggest going out and picking up one of these. Once again, this is the La Gloria Cubana Series R Esteli Maduro. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Till next time.